Thank you. Good evening. I think we are last leg of discussion. We have many more. Thanks. So now the topic we are discussing today now is a very important aspect. Is DCIM evolving to meet the demands of future-ready data centers and even current data center? So before I dwell into the detailed discussion on this topic, I would like to request my esteemed panelists to just have a brief intro so that audience knows about the background, and then we'll get into the discussion. Thank you.
Hello. Good evening all. Myself Ajit Mahajan. I represent Raheja Corp. I am working as a GM MEP for the Pan India role.
Hi, good evening everyone. Myself Shaikh Zamiruddin. I am Head of Design, Construction and Operations for Iron Mountain, India.
Hi, good evening all, and thank you NK and thanks W.Media for having me here and considering this topic, important topic. I am Sreejith. I lead data center operations for STTDC India.
Thank you. I think we have got very interesting team here who has been designing, building, operating data center for years together, and they will be the best people to provide their inputs for the topic what I talked about. And the first questions I'll get back to Sreejith only. What is the current state of DCIM? Because I have been hearing DCIM for last, I would say, more than 10-15 years, and how much they have been able to deliver on the actual value versus what expectations which customer has got across these 15 years, and expectations versus reality, the first aspect of it, and second is what is the correction which you are looking at?
Yeah, so if you ask me, it is still evolving, right? We have been hearing this topic DCIM for many years. It's the start of data center, right? So if you look at the data center evolve for the last 25 years. Initial days it's a primary level of monitoring of data center assets, which was predominantly into IT assets. Now, later on it transformed into IT assets, plus networking assets, plus computing assets, and then came into infrastructure. The infrastructure piece came, later part of it, with, the introduction of EPMS, CPM, and the various BMS platforms. Now we're talking about intelligent integrated BMS systems and so on and so forth, correct? Now the evolvement, if you look at it, starting from networking layer to application layer to infrastructure layer, today the exponential capacity going high in the data centers, the manual interventions is going to be a challenge, right? So the infrastructure management is going automated and further more automated. At IT level, yes, some level of automation is achieved, but on the infrastructure layer, automation is still, I would say, in the middle layer, it is still to catch up, correct? Starting from the utility segment, the GIS substations to intermediate substations to rack level, the automation is still not that kind of in power we talk about, but it's a need for an hour, correct? When it comes to integrating all this part of aspects, analytics, having correct data points, first and foremost, the integration of each equipment into the system, then the data coming in, analyzing the data points, and having these data points to next level of predictive maintenance and the management dashboards. So I would say it is still evolving, and we have way forward to do it.
So if I put it the scale of 1 to 10, so where do you see where we have reached in the current requirement perspective?
Maybe about 6.5.
6.5. Great. Thank you. Moving back to you, Zamiruddin. When we talk about DCIM, and this entire DCIM application has been dominated, I will not say dominated, but driven by OEMs. And it has started from OEMs, it is still driven by OEMs. And obviously, when we talk about data center facility, it has got thousands of IoTs or the field devices which needs to be connected, and you need on the physical layer integration, and then for different systems it is going to be connected. So now when we talk about OEMs having a different software not talking to each other, there is no interfaceable, then how do we see this, the wave of AI coming in where the infrastructure size and growth is going so high? How are we going to cope up with such kind of requirements? So my question is, where do you see the gap here? And if it is, because we have been interacting with this such DCIM OEMs on day-to-day basis, what is their program strategy, or are they working something around it to solve?
No, so I think absolutely rightly called out. Currently the DCIM which you see is predominantly dominated by the vendor, because they use their own machine protocol, and typically the integration for the end devices, the end sensors are also working only with the few select OEMs and makes and model. But looking at the scale what the current industry is building and the kind of complexity which we are building in the infrastructure, obviously we need to have those kind of integration. We cannot create multiple silos, which is the current scenario in any data center operation. If you talk about, you have a BMS, you have a EVMS, you have a CPM, and lot many other tools which basically being used for monitoring and management of the operations currently. So I think down the line, I see some of the technology also started working towards the integration part of it, where they started creating their product for the open APIs and the REST APIs, so that all the integration with down the line below the structure tools and tackles can also be integrated well, and we can have a uniform view for the operation. And the kind of scale which we are seeing, I think this is a need of the hour which has to go in.
So need of the hour versus actual work, is it happening, or the OEMs are working towards it, or any other companies who wanted to take such initiative has reverted back to you in that area?
Yeah, so I think we have seen some of the DCIM prominent tool which is used across the globe started working to at least start using the open APIs as well. So I see that this is just like a evolving, as Sreejith rightly mentioned. This is an evolving stage still for the DCIM. It has to go along, and the kind of infrastructure, the current demand which is being built up and operated, I think this has to go very well hand in hand also to be very tightly integrated. And that has to work with any sort of the sensors and devices or anything else.
Okay, thank you. Now going back to Ajit, because this building management system or managing it or monitoring the entire infrastructure is not new for you. Even if in data center you have already got involved and done a couple of projects from that area. But what is your experience around DCIM or management tools, around the infrastructure management tool? And what is your experience in terms of the expectations versus reality, what you have been getting as a part of this?
Hello. So to answer your question, as team has rightly mentioned, there is a gap. So we are still dependent on the operator center. Okay, though we are monitoring, we are in a controlling stage. There are lots of areas where more than monitoring, when it comes to a controlling, it should be more real-time controlling, okay, because the way we are talking about the mission critical, the way DC industry is growing and evolving, okay, the dynamics are changing very drastically, and that's where rather than the human intervention, I think the AI-driven basically the AI-driven intelligence is more required, okay, to take the decision to respond to the load or to the requirement as per the real-time requirement. That is what is the need of the time, and obviously in coming days we will be finding that this kind of solutions will also come in a industry and will be get used by the most of the DC players. And not only that, with the AI coming in place, the obviously it will help the DCIM in terms of the direct benefits like the optimization of the energy, because when you are the IT side will more closely work with the other side or the facility side where the electrical infrastructure or for that matter the HVAC infrastructure is being set up, then really it will be a per se a good amount of energy saving or optimization which can be foreseen.
Just quickly word, it came to my mind. This DCIM, actually where do you find the problem? Whether it is an implementation problem, configuration problem, or the technology itself, it has not evolved up to that level. What is that you are observing?
I think you are right to that. The first and foremost, technology has to be addressing these challenges. Right? First and foremost, the technology itself. The implementation comes second. So implementation, some other time we can make it happen. See, but I'm talking about the DCIM as a whole, starting from the utility to technical aspects to downstream data center apparatus to first and foremost integrate the right type of technology. Now it is there. If you ask me, the first layer of integration with the kind of IBMS and intelligent IBMS, it is almost addressed. I can say the new data centers we are coming in, it is fully integrated. The infrastructure is fully integrated, it is automated, and all this data is coming, dashboards are there. The gap is where, when you talk about DCIM, the data center integration, integration is a challenge. And again, the user versus infrastructure provider, correct? Then the analytics part of it. How are you making, leveraging the AI or ML technologies to this scheme of
Let us sleep about
yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Let us look at only DCIM. Are we capable of delivering the features what has been
Now, some extent, yes, the recent tools, the integrated tools, from the VM, they're able to do that. But if you ask me, as an enterprise, from DCM perspective, infrastructure plus IT plus network, that's a challenge, right? Yeah, that's right.
Facility side.
Facility aspect it is there. Now the latest intelligent IPMS technologies they're able to address that. Yes.
So I think Sreejith mentioned already. So I think they come up some level of integration, some level of automation, and some level of analytics part of it. But eventually it has to grow a very well matured model where majority of the tasks should be driven by the analytics itself, because the kind of volume of data center and the kind of data which you are collecting, unless you don't create the autonomous model or a defined framework which is driven by the tool, it is imperative to operate from manually. So that's what it is. But I guess I think we are on to the right stage, and being AI coming to the picture now, there are a lot of use cases which is coming in, and somebody from the AI industry will pick up this as a use cases because this is a bigger industry today.
Yes. So coming back to the next question. So when we look at the stacking of the entire DCIM to AI layer, the different layers. So when you talk about the automation layer, which is the physical in nature, where devices are connected. Then you have got management layer, where you have got all devices monitored, managed, informations are displayed the way you want it. And then come the DCIM layer, which is more of a consolidation and dashboard and reporting layer, right? So in these three layers, if we do a just broader, I will not say to deep dive because we don't have time, But do
I
you
would
see,
like to- I would
when
jump
you
in there.
highlight
Okay.
on the physical layer, what is the issue? On the management layer, what is the issue? On the DCIM layer, what is the issue? Then only we can talk about AI layer which is going to sit on the top of it.
I think as I said, running short of time, just a quick one. So, if you ask me, all this, 3 layers, we are able to make it. I'm talking about the 4th layer, which is predictive maintenance, right? Which is where we need to request our people to
But
come in.
unless and until the bottommost layers are clear and they are able to
You're
work
right.
accurately and providing the details, the topmost layer can't be so accurate.
That's right. That's right. But that's what I said. Now, people are able to address these issues. The interoperability, as you mentioned about the interoperability, was a big challenge. Let's say 5 to 10 years back. Today, all the OEMs are kind of cooperative. So I don't see or I don't find DCIM providers or BMS providers coming and complaining me that this OEM I'm not able to get the data. That is not there. It's a good sign. Correct. So the next layer, yes, one, the challenges of this existing physical to management to reporting has to be addressed. Then the next layer.
So my view on this, in fact, without AI, in fact, there are a lot of IoT sensors available. So as Sreejith has rightly mentioned, there is a need of predictive maintenance. Okay, rather than be more reactive after whatever the facing the issue or after the shutdowns or whatever the problems we are facing. Reacting on that, the predictive will be more important.
So I understand. Sorry, I'm interrupting. What is required or what we need is one. What we are getting is another. So obviously we need predictive. We need the automated handle to manage the entire thing. We need list manual interventions. But that is something we want. Are we in a position to reach to that stage?
Still, I would say not 100%. Okay. We have to reach that stage, okay? Because in previous question, as rightly mentioned, every OEM have their own software applications. So that somewhere is also a barrier, okay? And the API kind of solutions may help going forward, okay? To get all these OEMs, all vendors on the same platform where it can be more open and all the required details can be shared. This is what I mean.
Can you just speak?
So, I think I see a lot of issue at the hardware layer which you defined the 3 layers. Hardware layer we have a multiple silos, multiple different tools which is sitting in. Somehow management layer I see some of the uniformity or the kind of single pan view which is connecting to all. And as I said, like the another layer for predictive maintenance has to happen, and this hardware layer has to work with the open APIs to integrate with any system which you come in. And obviously one single pane of your integrated view which is integrated by AI into DCI will give all kind of predictive maintainability, and whatever the corrections, whatever the improvement which you can bring in, you can start getting all this kind of meaningful output from this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There is time constraint. I need to just wrap up this session. So, to just summarize what we discussed, when we talk about DCIM, yes, for last 15 years, this application has evolved. Customers has evolved from the perspective of their usage. And other layers, what I talked about, 3 layers, your automation, management, and DCI consolidation, and then final AI. It is maturing. Each layer is maturing because customers are demanding, customers are clear what they want. So once they are clear what they want, all those layers are getting cleaned up, and I am also confident that we are not far when we are going to leverage, mature on the DCIM layer and leverage on the AI for what you are talking about, predictiveness of the entire data center management system. So with this, I would like to thank all my panelists for their valuable inputs and audience for hearing us patiently. So thank you and have a great evening. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir, for this enriching session. Thank you to the entire panel.